Let's talk about these pistol braces in the GOA's comments to the ATF. What's up, Wolverines? If you're wondering where you can get this awesome pistol brace patch, check out blackswantactical.com. We only got 20 of the glow-in-the-darks left, so hurry up and act fast. Alright, my name is John Crump, and I'm a gun enthusiast, journalist, and 2A activist. And if you can give this video a big thumbs up, I would appreciate it. It really helps with the algorithm. Let me know what you think about this down below. For full disclosure, I know the writer of the GOA's comments. In fact, the GOA comments have some of my pictures in there. Kind of cool. The writer is Rob Olson, aka Chicken Farmer. He has represented me in the past and is one of my really good friends, and I talked to him about a lot of stuff. So I collaborated with him on these comments. He wrote all the comments. I provided a couple pictures, so did other people. So I might have a little bit of insight to these comments that the normal person wouldn't have. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, GOA is claiming the proposed rules are masquerading as rulemaking to assist gun owners, when the actual goal is to outlaw almost all pistol braces. They want to ensure that almost all pistol stabilizing devices will be ineligible to be used on non-rifled firearms. The ATF even has a section in the rules that says, even if it does pass all the rulemaking, that if we decide that it's trying to circumvent the NFA, we're still going to charge you with having an SPR. The ATF is revoking all prior classification letters issued to manufacturers. Basically, what they're trying to do is rewrite the statute that Congress has passed. The ATF says they are just restating existing protocols, but that doesn't appear to be the case. It appears that the ATF is offering an entirely new, and according to Olson, conflicting way by which they analyze pistol braces. GOA cites a case, much like SB Tactical did, that says one of the basic procedural requirement of administrative rulemaking is that an agency must give adequate reason for its decision. And where an agency fails to provide even the minimum level of analysis, the action is arbitrary and capricious and cannot carry the force of law. And basically what they are saying is that the ATF really didn't give a reason. We all know what the reason is, and the reason is political. Biden ordered them to change the rules, and that is what they are doing. GOA wants to know if the ATF is using legislative power or interpretive power to make the new rules. If they're using legislative power, then they are usurping the power of Congress, because we've all seen the Magic School Bus and Schoolhouse Rock, where a bill becomes a law through Congress and not the ATF. If they're using interpretive rulemaking, then this opens up a whole nother can of worms, and it gets kind of scary. The ATF says a person can remove the brace and render it inoperable, but that is only assuming the person bought a pistol and put a brace on there, because under the law, if they bought it with the brace at the store, and that is now considered an SBR under the new rulemaking procedures, that would always be an SBR. It would never ever be a pistol, because it was never a pistol, because it was sold as an SBR under the new rules. That's where we get into the other thing with interpretive powers being a big problem. And that is the main reason, because once something's a rifle, it is always a rifle. You can't convert a rifle back into a pistol under law. Second thing that the ATF says a person can do is register their pistol, which is now an SBR, as an SBR under the NFA. There's a couple problems with this. First, there's no mechanism to register an already possessed firearm as an NFA weapon. So if you own a SBR and it's non-registered, the ATF says you can't register that. So if you own something with a pistol brace and the ATF decides that it is now an SBR, there's no mechanism to register that. And even if there was, certain states and also the District of Columbia outlaw SBRs. So now you have a pistol that is totally legal, but now all of a sudden it's an SBR and you can't do anything with it besides destroy it or get rid of it because your state does not allow you to have SBRs. It's kind of a catch-22 there, and it's a very big problem. So in reality, what they're trying to do is hassle gun owners as much as possible. Then there's the test itself, which is incredibly complex, and basically no pistol on the market would be able to pass. For example, the ATF claims that if a firearm is lighter than 64 ounces, that it is easily held with one hand and there's no need for a stabilizing brace. But this is unloaded with no accessories. Once you start loading up and putting the accessories on, that firearm is going to get a lot more than 64 ounces, and then you're going to need a brace. But the ATF really doesn't take that into consideration. The ATF also claims that the overall length of a firearm should be more than 12 inches to be considered legal to use a stabilizing brace. Under 12 inches, they say that it is not long enough to have a brace, and firearms over 12 inches are too large to have a brace. So basically, we got to think about this 13 to 25 inches. And this is where I helped out, and this is where you see some of my pictures in there. We took one of my pistols that has a 7.5-inch barrel. We measured it from the flash hider to the back of the buffer tube as the ATF will do. And we got a measurement of 24 inches. And remember, anything over 25 inches will be considered a non-usable firearm with a brace. So basically at 8.5 inches, you're right there. And anything above that, it's game over, man. You're not going to be able to register that or own it as a brace pistol anymore, no matter what. You are disqualified. Now let's get into the test. And this is really confusing, and I'm not going to really get into it too much because there's tons of videos out there. But the ATF really doesn't give very much information on things that it says. For example, it says that if there's too much surface area, then you will get a certain number of points and it will become a stock. It never really discloses what that surface area is, so it's basically left purposely vague so the ATF can make up whatever the hell they want to make up, because that's what the ATF does. It's very, very upsetting. Also, it talks about adjustability, right? So it's saying if it's adjustable, then it is definitely a stock. But people have different size arms, so the adjustability can be for where you want it on your forearm. For different people of different sizes, the adjustability might be a good thing. Another thing is the adjustability with stuff like the CAC. The CAC has little divots in its buffer tube where you tighten it down. So it's semi-permanent, but the ATF is considering that adjustable. And there's a lot of hypocrisy with this. For example, length of pull. For length of pull for a rifle, you extend the stock all the way out, and that gives you your length of pull. With a pistol, you push it all the way in, and that gives you a length of pull, which isn't exactly fair and makes it harder to actually pass the test. And then my favorite, elasticity. They say that if something's too elastic, then it can't be used as a pistol brace. They say if something isn't elastic enough, it can't be used as a pistol brace. But once again, they don't give you any guidance on the elasticity required. I'm not even sure how you would even test that, but whatever. So we also helped out here, and you can see my picture there. My wife's arm, my arm, and one of my friend's arm. And my wife has skinny arms. I have medium-sized arms, and my friend has large arms. So you can see the difference. And then there's the whole thing of magnifications, magnifiers. If you have a magnifier on your gun, then it has to be a rifle, because magnifiers are never used on pistols, which is very, very ridiculous. I have a friend who has a Magnum 500 with a magnifier on it, and, you know, that should be fine, right? The ATF also prohibits pistols, which is configured to weigh more than 120 ounces, 7.5 pounds. That's with a magazine, right? So let's say you have a 20-round magazine, you're firing it, and your pistol is right at 7.5 pounds. Your buddy says, hey, here's a magazine full of ammo, go ahead and shoot it. You load it in. It's a 30-round magazine, and now you're over 7.5 pounds. So now you just became a felon if you got caught, of course. But you're never a felon until you get caught. So that is a major problem. The final thing that is really disturbing is the catch-all. The ATF can decide, hey, you passed the test, but we still consider that an SBR because we want to consider that an SBR because we think you're trying to get around the NFA. So then they can still charge you with having an SBR even when you don't. Also, this is something that SB Tactical brought up, is that by pitting a brace on the pistol, it makes it less concealable. One of the things that they are trying to claim is that it will help cut down on crime if they ban or make it harder to use pistol braces. And this is just not the case. By pitting a pistol brace on a pistol, you're making it less concealable. And get this, they did an economic survey to find out how much damage this will do to the American taxpayer. And they claim that the manufacturers lie about the number of pistol brace sold. They say that it's under 3 million. I know for a fact this is incorrect because I know at least one company that has sold over 3 million braces, and I know another company that's sold very close to 3 million braces. In fact, the Congressional Research Service estimates that there's 40 million pistol braces out there. So any type of calculation that they do is going to be wrong because they're using a number that's incredibly low. And they don't say why they think the manufacturers are lying, and they don't say why they disagree with the Congressional Research Service, but they just say that they know best, which is what the ATF does, right? The ATF claims that 10% will be converted into a rifle, 27% will be registered with the NFA, and 63% will remove the pistol braces. Where do they get this number from? They really don't offer any realistic way to get this number, and it's just stupid. All right, well, that's what GOA says. That's their comments. Let me know what you think below. I'm seriously curious. I want to thank JSD Supply for helping making this video possible. Also, Tusk TUSC. Check them out as well, TUSC.network. And I have a Patreon. If you like what I do here, you can subscribe to my Patreon and help me out a little bit. I'm a gun rights activist with Gun Owners of America, your only no compromise gun lobby in DC. I'm also an investigative journalist, and I keep an eye on the ATF, FBI, and agencies and organizations that want to violate your God-given and constitutionally protected right to bear arms. Check out my live channel where we talk to interesting people from around the world. And with that, we are out. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keeping the fight, and I am out of here. Wolverines, motherfucker.